But there are also memes that say if you dated in high school, that was just your little friend, you know, and it
As
didn't
your
count.
parents would say.
Yeah, just like our parents would say, that's just your little friend. She called herself having a little friend. And I always laugh at those memes, but I don't laugh too hard because I'm like, dang, that was Corey. So do you think high school relationships count, or were we just each other's little friends?
And so I made the move. I bumped her, but I played it cool. DJ dropped Beyonce. I asked her who she catered to. She said I'm single, boo. I just hope you single too. But I ain't tripping. I'm just out having a drink or two.
Welcome to another Degree Single segment, and thank you for listening. Hopefully, by now, you know what Degree Single segments are all about. If not, I'm going to politely ask you to refer to some of the earlier segments. And I'm going to jump right in with today's guest. I think I've described every guest so far as historic, and this time is no different. My guest today checked so many boxes. All of them are interesting, but I'm just going to name a few. Today's guest is the first single man I've had on Degree Single. Every other guy that's been on so far has been married. And considering that Degree Single is largely from my perspective as a single woman, I've always looked forward to the day that I would bring in a single male voice to offer some balance. So, my guest today is that male voice, and he is also building up a little suspense. My first boyfriend ever. And this is a new feeling for me because I'm usually able to curate my content to the point where I feel like I don't divulge too much personal information. But today, I'm going to let you in my business just a little bit. So, welcome to my first single male guest, my first boyfriend, which by default also makes you my first ex, Corey Hollingsworth. So, thank you, Corey, for being on, and tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, the first ex. But no, I'm Corey Holmsworth, 30-year-old bachelor. I live in Jackson now, but I'm from Cleveland. I got multiple businesses. I'm in real estate. I'm doing a little auditing and accounting, and I do a lot of consulting. Hoping to get back on consulting full time. I do auditing now for COVID proof job, but hoping the world can open back up. This stuff pretty scary, but glad to be here on Degree Single today.
Yeah, yes, thank you so much for being on. So glad to have you. Look, you just made you a whole dating profile with the intro. 30-year-old bachelor,
Hey,
live in Jackson, worked in multiple business, real estate, audit. Boy, look.
I need somebody to
Anyway,
share this.
huh?
I need somebody to share this headache with.
Yeah, please. Look, okay, look, let's go on into it. So the introduction alone runs right into my first topic, right? Because I don't care for the title X. I just don't care to refer to people that way. But I guess there's really no other way to refer to someone that you've been in a relationship with. So how do you feel about the term X, if anything at all?
Uh, I really don't use the word, honestly. If somebody referred to it, 9 times out of 10, if I'm in a group of guys, I won't even mention I dated the woman. I like to hear other people's perspective. I love to get a different, because if it changed the tone of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if you know me and we close enough, then you know I dated that person. If not, I won't speak nothing bad about them, or I won't even say nothing. I mean, it was times when we was in college. I hear people talk about you. I never mentioned we dated. I just smiled and kept going.
Mm. And it's interesting that you say that because I'm very much so a need to know kind of person. So I feel like saying the word X, I done already told you too much because they already gonna know off rip. Oh, y'all was together when? What was it like? Da, 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 da. Like it opens you up for all these different questions. So,
And I don't think it's fair because I think we are different with people we date.
what you mean?
You might be one way with this guy and a totally different person with him. So when you're trying to get a perspective of who was Christian when I dated her, she's a totally different person.
But you think by referring to me as your ex, which wouldn't be untrue,
It wouldn't be untrue, but it's like it's a stigma of something bad happened because your ex.
that and that's what I was wondering because, like I say, if you don't say ex, then you got to give this long spiel like, well, we used to date, we was in a relationship. Like, that's too many words. Ex just sums it all up. But I was wondering if maybe ex has a negative connotation because it's like you're saying ex, which I don't know if that's short for anything because we say ex a lot of things, ex friend, ex boyfriend, ex girlfriend, ex co-worker, a lot of stuff. But you're saying ex, but I'm thinking like you X something out. And
Gotcha.
usually to X something out is to like do away with it, to cancel it.
It was an error. Yeah.
It just doesn't seem very positive, you know? And of course you're mixing, you're doing away with that person as I guess a romantic partner, but it may not be on bad terms. It may be on good terms, it may be mutual, it may be friendly. And so to me, the word ex, it just feels like not that nice, but I know it doesn't have to be mean. It's just the only word we have for it right now.
I agree.
Yeah, so I didn't know if that was one of those things that I was overthinking. It's like, I don't care for the word ex. Well, what else you gonna say? I just don't say it. I'm more like you in that sense because to say ex volunteers information, which I'm not really in the business of doing. But if it came down to it, people would know, like, yeah, me and Corey used to be in a relationship. We talked back then. Yeah. Well, let me not say talk. And then, because that's a whole nother conversation because I feel like it's levels between talking and relationship. If I talk to you, you ain't my ex. I just talk to you. But if I was in a relationship like you was my boyfriend, you my ex. But if I talk to you, even if I talk to you for a long time, if you be like, oh, Kristen, my ex, I ain't go with you.
Yeah.
I ain't go with you.
It's definitely levels between girlfriend and talking.
Mm-hmm. Even if, like I say, even if we talk for a long time, don't put that ex on me because you give yourself too much credit now. But anyway, so I want to give people a little bit of background, a little bit of timeline about our relationship, right? So we met in high school for people that don't know, and that's when we was together. You were my high school boyfriend for a while. And it's crazy now that we're older because we see memes that joke about like how people used to be on the phone back in the day, sneaking on the house phones and talk, and the notes, we used to write and fold up and put a song on there, the date, time, dedications, all that type of mess. And we would record songs for like special ringtones. We would assign to people. We use them songs for voicemails. And if you were really fancy, you had a ring back tone. Regular people had a ringtone, but if you paid that little extra change, some extra features, you had a ring back tone. And so when I see the memes and stuff like that, that was our era. That's our era in high school. We was doing those things exactly, and I think that was kind of like the end of it, right? And so, but there are also memes that say if you dated in high school, that was just your little friend.
Yeah,
and
as your parents would say.
Yeah, just like our parents would say, that's just your little friend. She called herself having a little friend. And I always laugh at those memes, but I don't laugh too hard because I'm like, dang, that was Corey. So do you think high school relationships count, or were we just each other's little friends?
I do believe high school relationships count on the simple fact it molds you and it shapes you for your next relationship. And it affects you even in college, even in some people in their adulthood, because I know some fellas they got hurt in high school that ain't shit back.
Mm-hmm.
And or just the reputation that follows. I know some females from their reputation from high school that I couldn't cuff.
From some crazy stuff do happen in high school. You would think high school was so far back, you're so young, but people doing stuff so early now.
And for some people, once you leave high school, that's the last impression that you have of them. I left. I went off to college. I was at Alcorn 5 years. I went home 4 times. I didn't go back home. I didn't keep in touch with a lot of people from high school, except for my just core group of friends. So that's your lasting impression. And I get back with guys today, and we still talk about some fun times in high school and some chicks in high school. So
Yeah, now that you mention it, you would like to think that stuff is behind. New year, new me. I'm not that person no more. Old things have passed away. A lot of things that we do, a lot of recreating. And of course, nobody wants to be identified their whole life by their past and their mistakes, especially if you had like promiscuous tendencies. And some people was going through a lot of stuff. They really was acting out.
and we was in the era where teen pregnancy was at all-time high.
Yes, it was like booming. And again, that's what I think people don't understand, because they be trying to like play with millennials like we just some young, wild, crazy. No, we lived through a lot of the times that still gave people, I guess, some degree of credibility. We weren't born in a world that only had debit cards. Yes, we mostly had debit cards, but we were still learning how to balance checkbooks when we was in school. We still had house phones. I used phones that still had the little rolling numbers. We used VHS tapes. I knew how to use 8 tracks. My grandma used to have 8 tracks, and we knew in her living room where to go find it and how to pull them out and how to use them. So I feel like people really be playing with millennials sometimes. Like
my mom still have encyclopedia in her house.
Yes, just how because I remember when internet wasn't there yet, and we lived through the AOL dial-up where you couldn't get on the phone when you trying to get on the internet, and if somebody pick up the phone while you trying to log on, you'd have messed up everything.
Yeah, most definitely.
So yeah, people be trying to play with us like we ain't earned our stripes a little bit, and I forgot what that was even about, but how I even got on that tangent. But yeah, I know in school, like, we was talking about like the boom in teen pregnancy, because back then it was still kind of like maybe kind of like a surprise, but maybe it was a surprise to me because where I was raised and how I was raised, that just wasn't something in my mind that was common. So it was like I could contain myself if somebody was like pregnant. It's like, but it was like inside, it's like,
you did that a lot.
Yeah, it was still a big deal. Now it's like,
yeah.
So for us, it wasn't, because I know people back in the day. You can ask some of your aunts and cousins and grandmas, when they got pregnant back in the day, they had to sit out of school and wait till they had that baby before they can come back. You weren't going to be walking around school big and pregnant like in our day. And so it's like we understood what it was like to have like that like surprise factor, but that I didn't feel like they need to sit out of school. So of course with us, they were still able to come to school.
Yeah, they
and they needed to, but it still was like a shock factor. Like, you this age, you having a baby, especially when you met someone that was having it even earlier. Like high school was young, but we just gonna be real about this thing. We knew people in middle school.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And like I said,
some people jump it off junior high.
Huh?
Some people jump it off in junior high.
Yes, and it's like crazy. And again, like abortion is so prevalent now, but we saw all that stuff not be a big thing. I didn't even know like abortion was like a thing. But now in hindsight, I realized how early stuff like abortion was happening. And it's, I don't know, it's crazy. But I do understand it's like, it does make a lasting impression, but you would like to think that we could have a little more grace and understanding about what people was going through. But in the scheme of dating, I understand where somebody left off at that time is kind of how you see them. Because I can think back in high school and it was like, you weren't no good then, you probably ain't no good now. And it's just that. So in the sense of that, I can understand if you caught a girl in a bathroom doing something crazy, stuff like that stick. And guys that care about those type of things, it probably still matter at this day and age. So, but I agree with you. High school relationships do count. Now, I would argue that in a relationship that you don't want to count, I guess you can phase it out so much of your mind where it doesn't like matter. Because I got some adult relationships. It's like, yes, but yes, you happened technically in the grand scheme of life, but no, you did not. I try to forget as much about you and about that time as possible. It was like you really don't have no bearing on me. So it's almost like you didn't happen at all.
Growing pain, that's what you call it.
Yeah, but high school relationships definitely count. Because think about people that still with folks they was with in high school.
Almost definitely
got married right out of high school. And so if your high school relationship was significant enough, for them to become your lifelong partner, and it worked. You can't even say it don't have no credibility because some people marry their high school sweethearts, married right out of high school, and last.
Mm-hmm.
So all that stuff like, well, I got to know somebody for this long, but you too young. No, any relationship at any point in time, I imagine can work and be genuine as long as you got the right stuff, and it don't take as long. It don't take everybody 3 years, 5 years. It shouldn't take nobody 10 years to know if they got the right stuff. And they may think at that age that we're too young to assess if those things are there, but some people have gotten it right, and a lot of people have been able to maintain long, beautiful, happy relationships, and right out of high school or with their high school sweetheart. So kudos to those people. We won one of them. So
No.
so we're high school classmates, and we graduated together, right? And then we went to the same college. And so, and we're from the same hometown. So there has been so much overlap throughout major phases of our lives. It wasn't like we dated in high school, then left each other there. Because we went to college together for the 4 years that I was there. And even now, even though we both reside in different places, we still have ties to home. And it's not unusual for us to be in our small hometown at the same time. And even then, we'll call each other up and hang out while we're there. So that all that gives people a bit of a background like about us. And doing this segment is insane because, of course, I pull out topics that I want to make sure that we touch on, but there's really so much to be covered just between us, because our relationship dynamic, exes who are friends, is something that I believe is more talked about than it is actually lived. People say they cool with their exes and they say they friends, but I think they use that term very loosely. So why do you think we have been able to be friends beyond our relationship? And has it ever been weird for you at times to be friends with me?
Maturity, the maturity level. Even in high school, I know you was more mature than a lot of our peers, and I was too. I mean, and respect. I think respect played a big part. I had a lot of respect for you. You never disrespected me. I can think the only time that it was actually weird is probably when we first decided like, yo, we just better off as friends. Let's just end it here. And because at that point, I was still stuck in a routine, I would say. Because even after we broke up, I still pick you up. I still was late to school every morning picking you up. That was around the corner.
You would still pick me up for school after we broke up?
Yeah.
Nah, I remember doing some walking now. So hold on. How long did it last? Because I don't remember all this. I remember doing some walking.
But I still, if it was raining or something, I still can't get, if you called me, I still can't get you.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Yeah. But other than that, that's probably was the only weird stage because it was like, okay, what's next? And at that point, I was through with high school mentally. So I had jumped straight to Delta State.
But we ain't gonna get into that because they got some terms for that now.
Yeah, I immediately focused on college next. So I jumped straight to college.
College women, people is what you're saying. And he was a high school student. But again, they show you just how the times is. And again, that's one of them things because now everybody's like, whole R. Kelly case is going on right now. And a lot of people are like, well, these girls been dating men in high school. Boys in high school been dating older women too. It's just that's interesting. But yeah, aside from that,
I would say, but to wrap it up, but overall, we had a friendship before we even started dating. It was like 9 months before you was like, yeah, I'll be your girlfriend or whatever.
You were like 10. It was definitely some time. It would have been longer, but I think you would start to put a little pressure on me. And I remember the day. I remember the day, I remember the conversation, I remember the circumstances, I remember where I was sitting in my parents' house and being on that cordless phone and what the discussion was. It's like, all right, we together, bye. Because I was trying to get a project done. You was working on my nerves, silly, bringing up this relationship stuff. I'm trying to be focused. All right, okay, we together. That's going, okay, fine. And so yeah, but I don't know, but I do agree with you as far as like the respect, the maturity. Um, I don't know, because that being friend stuff can be like so odd. That's really what I think it has come down to be. And as far as like it being weird, I don't think it was like ever extremely weird. It was just like a little odd, especially when you get to college and it's like everybody is, we went to a small college, we went to Alcorn, so everything is like tight and family oriented.
Yeah.
And so I'm dating people, I'm meeting people, liking people, and they know you. Or maybe like, yeah, Corey, my homie. And I'm like, okay. It was just.
It was the same. I used to laugh though, but I never said nothing. And folks be like, they had their perspective. You like, oh yeah, Christian great and this and that, or they look up to you, or they have a total different view of you that I just never knew. I'm like, I never met that woman there. Damn, I dated her and I ain't never met her. So it used to be funny in that sense, and I just keep pushing. But I hear guys lust about you, and I'd be like, oh, she still got the juice, and keep going.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah. So either way, and I guess again, it just goes back down to maturity and respect to have to know how to like maneuver those situations, because even beyond you saw me like in other, well, not multiple, but one relationship for sure. You saw me in that, and we all know it wasn't too great. Once stuff really started to like blow up, and you was like there for me, having to be, well, not having to be, but choosing to be a friend for me, even in those moments. As somebody who knows you and has cared about you in this way, it's a little, I guess, ironic at times. I guess is the word. I don't know, but it was. There were moments.
It was needs. That was needed. I mean, you can't say that though we dated, you can't say that we still friends and I don't look out for a friend.
True.
Regardless of the past or the relationship. I mean, or how unique the relationship is.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody need help and you call them a friend, then you got to step in.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being a friend. So I'm gonna switch gears a little bit. Still on, high school, but more futuristic. So just last year, we co-hosted our 10-year high school class reunion banquet right alongside each other. And we were among the few people in our class who are still unmarried and without children. And in television and movies, that situation tends to be portrayed in a way that makes people seem like unsuccessful and it's unconventional. The characters are always like begging somebody to go with them and pretend that they're super married and super successful. And we've been in that scenario in real life. So if you can remember, what position did you see yourself being in for your high school reunion? And knowing the reality of where we actually were in that moment, did it seem unconventional to you in any way, or like you had missed a milestone of some sort?
The younger me probably saw myself at a 10-year high school reunion dating somebody more seriously. I wouldn't say just married. Mm-hmm. I tend to take relationships serious. I could say engaged probably. Mm-hmm. But that's about it. Honestly, having some businesses going good for myself. Yeah, I saw that. But as in married, it was like, if I am good, if I'm not, still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I I really can't remember in high school. In high school, knowing me, I probably ain't care. One, I probably ain't care nothing about coming. Probably hope that one gonna be nowhere around. Like high school, you can come. Don't even. I hope I'm unavailable. It's like
Yeah.
my head was so set on like I'm getting up out of here, as far up out of here, as I can. And you probably assumed at that age, because we assumed back then that was so old. We figured it was gonna be so old, and now we're beyond that, and it's like I don't feel old at all. Okay.
Nah, I don't.
And so I probably, the way I was raised and the way my mom was reared at that time, I probably thought I would be married with kids, married kids with a job, doing good. There's some degree of success. Maybe I have a great job, husband have a great job, we make a lot of money together, we got these kids, and that's what I can say I'm doing. And we see what it was.
Oh yeah, reality slapped now. That 10 years came fast too.
It really did. And it's like you sitting there like it's crazy the perception of time, because at that time it probably seemed so far away. We got there so quickly. And again, at that age, at that point in our youth, we thought we was going to be so old.
Yeah.
I always feel like I've been beyond my years in my mind. So now I feel light years away. Now, as far as like appearance and stuff, I don't feel old, look old. Like I don't feel like the way we probably perceive oldness to be, or this age to be at that age. It ain't nothing like that. I really do still feel like a spring chicken.
Oh, me too.
But my mind is like, no, And even the ideas toward things that I might have had then, like husband, kids, all this stuff, I'm like, hold on now, you taking me too fast. As old as I thought I would be, I'm at that age and I'm still like, hold up with all that. I'm auntie of the year. Do not try to make me mama. Okay? Because it's like we just have a better sense of what goes into all of that.
Yeah.
And it's not for the weak. It's not for the weak.
They say highly educated people tend to stay away from kids. You mastered up. You got that master from IU now.
Man, I don't know. Because look, various levels of education, it just seems like an enlightenment and maturity thing, right? Because like I said, we both educated, same age range, and both of us have managed to steer clear of that. And it's just, I think people that have a real understanding and a real grasp of what it entails to be a spouse and a parent, you ain't trying to go into that blind. You're not just diving into that head first. You'll never be fully prepared, but you're not trying to go in knowingly unprepared, like with nothing.
Yeah. And that's an investment that, hey, everything you work hard for, you ain't trying to see go up in smoke.
Right. On both sides.
On both sides, yeah. Mm-hmm. Even mentally, just the mental capacity that they'll take on you.
It's hard. It's hard just being with somebody, even a good person, even if they're not doing nothing bad. It's just like if they teeth click or something when they chew their food. It's just hard to sit there and keep hearing that if you ain't got to.
Yeah. And then I got to the point that since college, I lived on my own. And I got set in some ways and some grooves, and I pay all my own bills. I got multiple things coming. It's pretty hard for me to hear what you got to say.
And you know what? But that's what they tell us. Like, you shouldn't be single too long, or you shouldn't wait too long, because then you become too hard to date. Do you believe there's some truth in that?
Hell yeah, especially with me. I do. It's some things that financially that I went through some hardships, and I went through some stuff, just making mistakes, just growing, that I done learned now that it's unacceptable for me to date a woman that do those things. Like, not saying that you can't make those mistakes, but I'm gonna try to prevent you from making them. And if you want to be hard-headed, you go stand over there.
Nah, I feel you on that. And I feel like that's something I'm still mindful of about myself, because I'm pretty self-reflective. Yeah. Maybe to a fault. But I think about all these things that I speak about often on here, all the things that I even disagree with. Just because I disagree with it, I still have to think about it long and hard to know my stance on it. And so, like, you're not getting any younger, biological clock. If you're single too long, it's going to be hard for you to date. I think about all those things and I try to be mindful of all those things and have a plan if it's like I'm going to pursue a relationship and keep marriage and parenting as a goal until this age, because they swear once women hit women is once women hit 30, it's like, oh, they act like our eggs just fall out and just roll away and just so all our potential just leave. And of course I don't believe that. But I do understand, things do
Yeah.
begin to change and there can be only early onset versions of things like menopause and stuff. So it's like we ain't gonna be completely dismissive that time brings about change, but I'm not gonna allow it to be a scare tactic.
A pressure point.
To push me into something that I just still feel like I'm not there yet. I'm just not sure yet. So that being single so long and being so set in your ways, what I actively work on is not being set in my ways and trying to stay open-minded and flexible. Now, I don't know if I am because I haven't tested it out, because you ain't gonna know that until you get with somebody and just see.
Yeah.
But I try to be mindful and just think about different things and like, what would I do in this situation? How do I feel about that? If somebody told me this, because right now like I said, we have our routines, we have our way of doing stuff. So if I think about the way I run my environment, if I feel like the air should be on this, if I invited somebody in and they feel like the air need to be on 65, what would I do? What would the compromise? I think about these things and I play it over my head and I imagine.
What do you keep the air on?
You don't want to know what it's on right now because I got the thermostat up pretty high and I need to go turn it down. I'm a little hot. I think it's on 78 right now, but that's because I didn't want it to keep coming on during the and
but on a daily, on the average.
Ooh, it ain't much lower because I be cold. Don't make me say it. But trust me, 60, anything would have me walking around here bundled up. And so I wonder if I was dating somebody that wanted to keep the thermostat there, how would I adjust for one? Or would I be like, this is my place, you need to get out, you don't pay no bills, it's gonna stay on what I want. And I don't think I would be like that. I really don't.
I done left a relationship for 80 degrees.
Well, that's ridiculous. Now we agree that was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
But 65, like some people be real hot, but I would be like, can you come up some?
72, 72.
If we not even that, I was gonna say 70. If we can't meet at 70. And the only reason I'm willing to compromise, maybe we can do 68, because some people really be suffering. I do be cold. However, I have acquired so many sweaters and blankets. I have systems in place. I can be accommodating. And I would like to think that people will be equally accommodating. So maybe in another area, he can budge and I'll be fine. But if on the area, as far as the thermostat, I think I would budge on that. As cold as I be, I know I have enough fuzzy socks, leggings, robes. Ain't nobody seeing me in that area. Moo-moos and I forgot what they call the little things, but the little sweaters. I got a variety of all these things in place to accommodate that if I'm cold. So I would be better off making myself warm than asking them to make themselves cooler. So I don't mind accommodating in that. And I know that's just one example. I might be terrible in a lot of other areas, but I do feel like that keeps me knowing that I am still adaptable. Yeah. In certain areas of a relationship. And I know a lot of relationship people will tell you that thermostat thing can be quite the disagreement. So yeah. When I think about trying to stay flexible, having been out of a relationship for quite some time, I could sometimes feel like I'm on the right track when I just think through little scenarios like that. But again, I will never truly know until I get back in the saddle.
Yeah, I think my key would be sensitivity, being more sensitive. Mm-hmm. Women are emotional and I'm just cold. I have been told just blunt and cold, but it'd be truthful.
It's funny you say that, because why do men say women are emotional and y'all think y'all not, huh?
Men are too.
Yeah, that's something what you just described was an emotional response. How is that not How is that not emotional? That's
I
crazy to
agree.
me when they try to pin that on women and be like, women so emotional because she vocalizing her feelings, and I'm not emotional. Why? Because you bother a man. You're still emotional. You ain't doing them but giving us both a headache.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very emotional, I think, but I get told that I'm not.
I don't agree with that. But that's because I know you. And
Yeah.
I also talk to a lot of men who say they get that. And I be like, well, you just explain things to me just fine. So maybe different women bring out different things in guys. And maybe some of us are easier to talk to. And maybe some of us just better at listening. Because as much as I talk, I do think I'm a pretty decent listener. You can tell me if I'm wrong. And I also do think I have a way of creating space to get stuff out of people. Some people might ask you a question, but they really don't allow room for your answer. And I
Mm.
think that's something that men can't articulate, but I really think that's what men pick up on. Because women think just because they ask you, they've made you comfortable enough for you to answer. And a lot of times we don't, because we may have already shown you how our response is going to be, and you're not trying to deal with that, or you may have gotten a level of judgment, in the past that you're not willing to take a chance on, and we haven't really shown you that we would be any different. Now, of course, to be fair, you still got to give a person a chance to prove themselves. But I can understand where some of them walls come up. But y'all ain't no less emotional. Y'all ain't less emotional. Men are not less emotional than women. Y'all are less vocal than women. That's what y'all is.
I agree.
Okay, well, look, we
Yeah,
can move
you don't get no argument here.
on. So cool, but no, like we really went on a whole tangent, but I guess that's what this is all about, and I'm glad we did, because I feel like a lot of those things that was said was needed and necessary. But in regards to the high school reunion, we ain't missing nothing by
No.
not being married and not having no kids. It was beautiful, and I was glad to kick my shoes off my hurting feet and go home and do nothing and not have to pick up the kids from nobody. And one no grandmama Hearns one calling me talking about when you picking them up, you ain't packed them no clothes. They sleep in one of my t-shirts. I ain't missing none of that at all. So now I'm going to address something that's probably lingering in the mind of some of our listeners as we go through this conversation right now. And we know it's on the mind of people that we know personally. If we're both single, no kids, employed, available, with a good relationship, why aren't we together? And that's not the question for you. The question is, being in that space, what do you think people need to consider to determine if they should remain good friends or try to make it more, even if they never dated? Because everybody ain't got to be exes that's still good friends. Some people just good friends, period. And the thought may
Mm.
have crossed their mind like, should we do more? Because people gonna offer their opinion or even pressure you if they can't wrap their head around why you wouldn't be with someone who seems like they would be a perfectly suitable mate, especially when they hit you with that, well, what you waiting on? So what do you think is a checklist of things that people should go over before they make that move to like not be friends anymore and to try to be more? Because we know we get that a lot. So y'all
Yeah.
just friends.
You had to ask yourself a real question first, I believe. You had to check with self. I believe in checking in with self. And being a friend with somebody and being in a relationship is two different ball games. Like it's two different level expectations. If you my friend and you a girl, you can smoke a black. You my woman, I just don't look at you smoking a black the same. Expectation wise, the way you spend your money now, I have no care in the world, Christian. Investments you make, foolish things you do. But if you was my woman, then there'll be a different concern. So just expectations change, vulnerability and being open. When you with a friend, it's certain walls you don't put up. Just free. You feel so in a relationship, you feel like your partner would judge you or something. So like you gotta have, can you keep those qualities that make the friendship great in the relationship? The chemistry, the respect, the connection, wholeness. And I think you should I think prayer should come into it. That your spiritual life, your prayer life, that has to be lined up too. Because as friends, a lot of times we don't even talk about that. So it's a lot more going to from friendship to relationship. It's an investment. It's damn near a business decision. You need to look good on paper, need to feel good, and you need to know that, hey, this ain't gonna always be good, but am I willing to go through my trials and tribulations and her trials and tribulations with this one person?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't think about this, but I think about people's families too.
Yes.
Yeah. So if I was to have a kid, if it was go to the next level, how does the family look? Is it little retarded kids running around on the side?
Oh man.
Some stuff that's gonna get passed down, some family diseases, some traits. You just
And
be
just
like,
they ways.
yeah,
They ghetto. They can have your kid out here acting the way that you don't even want them acting. Because
yeah.
if you dropping them off over there, they picking up stuff. Is my kids gonna come back cussing because you say that's cute?
Yeah.
You know? Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No, you are right. And I really think those are among the things people need to consider. First of all, I think people that are friends or have established a friendship need to figure out, one, are you willing to risk that friendship? Because I think it's one thing to be able to come out of a relationship and be friends, but to be friends first, then get into a relationship, I feel like that just works a little different. It ain't always guaranteed that you're gonna get that friendship back.
And the friendship ain't the same. I done it. I'd have been friends with somebody. You jumped in a relationship, and I'm looking like you too damn lazy.
Mm.
And this shit probably gonna work better as friends. But even though I got the maturity of it, it's still weird for the next person sometimes. And
Mm-hmm.
the friendship ain't dead, but it ain't the same.
Yeah.
Because feelings and emotions are real.
Yeah, that is awkward how that can work like that. People that come straight into a relationship, because people call themselves friend. I think friend is the word people use as a stepping stone. It's the only thing short of relationship. Like, what do you call people? Like we say, oh, they're just an associate, but we don't use that word. We still usually end up calling people friends even when they're not. Like I say, even with it, you may feel like they have like a negative connotation, but we're not gonna call people anything other than that because there really ain't no words. But I feel like when somebody approaches you, they may be like, dang, you can't have no friends, but they really have no friendly intentions. They have no intentions on being your friends. That's just the stepping stone to where they really want to be, because that's probably the only way that they can get next to you at that time. So it's like, if people never really start off with friendly intentions, the attraction was never as friends. But who attracted to a friend? I'm so attracted to you as a friend. Like, I don't think attraction be like a thing. You may have looked at somebody and noticed that they were attractive, but something about it just didn't go that particular route, and you discovered something about them that was cool, and y'all could be friends. But I feel like if you attracted to somebody like sexually in that nature, and the approach is based off of that, I don't feel like that's starting off as friends. Even if that's what you're calling it, because you can't, maybe it's too soon to say boyfriend, and it's too soon to say I know you well enough, but you ain't never had no intentions on being friends. I feel like people that start off like that, relationship wise, somehow they seem to be okay if they end up maybe being friends. I guess it depends on how deep it goes. But people that was like straight up friends, like we was good friends, like legit friends, nothing questionable about our friendship, and then decide to be lovers, then want to turn back as friends. I don't think that works.
No.
So
I don't think you were friends. Somebody just did a good job of disguising their likeness.
Yeah, because someone came along and made a change, but
yeah,
I feel like those type of friendships, real friendships, it's hard to go back after a relationship. But people that just kind of like jumped into a relationship plans and relationship like stuff like that, and they don't necessarily pan out. I don't know. It just seems like in some cases they're really able to be like legit friends. I guess because all the uncertainty of it is out the way. in a sense. I don't know. Maybe certain variables get out of the way once you like really end a relationship and there's not no gray area and it's just no
Yeah.
like malice. It's like it just ain't work like this. But hey, you can stick around for all the other stuff because I ain't got no problem with that and I ain't really got no evil will. But them people where it's like real crushing heartbreak because I feel like it may to some degree be regret that we ruined our friendship over this. And now I miss the friendship. We never gonna have it back. Then the embarrassment and pain of this relationship not working too. It seems like it just add another layer to it. To
And
where
then for them to see you with somebody else happy.
ugh, it seems like that won't work. So I feel like that's the first thing people need to consider when if they in that position. Are you just friends to be more? Are you friends with the intention of being more? That's the only reason you being my friend. That's the only reason you being friendly. If that's that, then because that's what you there for anyway. But if y'all are like true blue friends and it never really crossed your mind to be more, and now it's like you're beginning to look at it that way, I really think you need to think long and hard about if you willing to compromise that. So I think this is where a lot of people need to start.
You gotta see what
Like
you giving up. Yeah, what all you be
that's
giving
what
up.
you giving up. Because them other people ain't gave up nothing.
Yeah.
They just saw something and went after it, but they weren't giving up anything to have that relationship. And so,
But I think inside a relationship, you should be in a relationship where your spouse should be your best friend.
yes.
I do think that, but that had to be a mutual.
But I think that's something that kind of like grows. I'm talking about people like this, my literal best friend.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to make you my person now. I feel like that's a little more. Ugh.
That's complicated. That's some muddy waters.
Yes, and it's either gonna work or it ain't. But I think people that get in a relationship with relationship intentions and they become each other best friends, I feel like I can see this. So I think that's what people need to think about. And of course, like you said, all these other factors. But to me, it's just really just the risk. If y'all don't care about being friends no more ever again, if you can give up the friendship, because you're risking it. Because like you say, relationship, they'll turn into a totally different person. And we talk about this all the time. It's one thing if I'm friends with a guy, right? And they might well not even waste their time with me playing that game. You may well go and state your intentions from the door. Because if you come up to me talking about I want to be your friend, that's what you're gonna be.
We're gonna keep the same energy from day one.
You want to hop out of that friend zone, you in a whole different arena, sir, and stuff gonna be different. Because now I'm looking at you. First, you were just my friend. Like say, certain stuff don't matter. Oh, you want to be my man? Let me get this file folder down. Cause this how you apply for that job.
Yeah.
This was the friend file. This is all you do to be a friend, man. You got a few more licenses and permits and stuff. You got to go through.
Is it worth it?
Yeah, because you trying to tap into a whole different. Literally, you trying to tap into a whole different side of things, and they come with a whole different set of risks, a whole different set of attachments, a whole different set of emotions, a whole different set of repercussions. You trying to be posting on my
a whole
face.
different Christian,
huh?
A whole different Christian.
Oh yeah. So like you said earlier, some stuff you can do as a friend. All right, I don't even care. Some stuff you do as somebody's person. Oh no, I got a problem with it. Nope, I got a problem with this. So I really think people need to think about that when they think about trying to hop up out of their friend zone. Cause that can go real bad real quick.
Yeah.
So I want to play a game with you called Remember the Time. Since we've spent a significant amount of time, over the years knowing each other, let's see what we've learned about each other and also what we've remembered about each other over the years. So I just came up with a few questions. And there are questions that I can't be sure I know the answer to, so it can kind of be fair. So I'm gonna put the question or topic out there, and both of us will have our chance to answer. So I'm gonna start off simple. Favorite color. Do you know what mine is, and do I know what yours is?
Is it like an olive green?
It is not.
Okay.
Is your favorite color? Ooh. Is your favorite color black?
It is.
Oh, okay. I'm glad I remember that. Yeah, that's good. Let me just take my little point and go. Okay. My favorite color is yellow.
Uh-huh.
Favorite food. What's mine or what's yours?
I don't know. You love food.
You're getting warm.
um, I would say seafood now, right?
I can go with that, yes. I really don't have a favorite food.
Yeah, I would say, but you eat more clean now.
Yes.
But I do know rotel and chicken.
Man, that ain't my favorite food. That's just what we made all the time. When we was at home, you got 7 people in the house and all these other people coming over to your house on weekends because that's where all the kids at. Rotel strip.
I'll say seafood though.
Okay, that's it. Good, yeah. Because if I had to say I had a favorite food, what I would say is shrimp and grits. I don't believe I have a favorite food because I'm not partial. I love so much food.
Food, yeah.
So I don't even need a favorite. But if I just had to pick one, like give it to me today, tomorrow, every day, it's gonna be shrimp and grits, and that does include seafood. So we'll go with that. Is your favorite food steak?
That's just what we ate all the time. If I'm on my house.
Oh, okay. Y'all stay eating good over there.
It's actually very rare if I go out and order steak because we ate it every Friday.
Okay, look, y'all eat steak on Friday. We eat ground beef.
I would say I really don't have a favorite food, but I am a chicken wing connoisseur. I like if I go somewhere, I'm gonna try some chicken
wings.
Like wings. I like wings and flavors, but if I really this is what I'm gonna try if I go out. I try shrimp and grits if I go to anywhere occasion or chicken wings. But favorite food. My favorite food would be breakfast food. Anytime I have breakfast.
Okay. I expect you to say some hot maintenance. You know, you be eating oysters and all that good stuff. Oysters and steak.
I'm still country.
Chicken wings and breakfast food. Okay, cool. All right. This is more like a trivia question because I know the answer from my end. But what after school activity that we both did in high school that you ain't had no business being in?
Choir.
I'm glad you told the truth. Boy, you know you ain't had no business being up in that choir. Thought about that. I was like, what is he doing here?
They recruited me, but choir.
Who recruited you?
Latasha Lewis and Twinkie. Dominique Taylor.
I said, now, Corey, no doggone well. I ain't no Jasmine Sullivan or no Brandon, no Whitney, my doggone self. Mm-hmm. But I said, now, Corey.
I ain't never sung louder than volume 3.
It was so funny. I guess it made the time better having you up in there because Lord knows I had some good laughs.
I helped somebody pray for air one day.
Yeah. Man, I said, Corey ain't got no business up in this choir, but okay. All right, here go another good one. Okay. Do you remember what song was playing when my mom, she picked us both up from Alcorn one day and we was driving home. I think I was driving and you was in the passenger seat and her friend that had drove down with us. I think it was Miss
Anthony Hamilton. So
you already know. Look what the song was, and do you remember the line? Because we both. But let me ask a question for the people so they'll know, because it's more like an inside joke. So we were driving back, and the song was playing, and you know, you listen to a song, you be vibing, you might be singing it, but you know, now people be like, when they said that part, I ain't say that. So it was one of them moments, and it was a line in the song where he sang it, and I'm driving. I think I took my eyes off the road, and I looked at you, and we were like. Mm-mm. And my mom and her friend had picked up on it, like that whole moment, and they laughed. They was like, "That's a real connection." That was funny because we definitely had an understanding in that moment. Because when he said that, we were like, "Nah, bro, you on your own." So, do you remember what that song was? And for bonus points, do you remember what the line in the song was that we?
It was Anthony Hamilton. If you're cool, I'm cool. I don't know if that's the official title, but he said, "You ain't got to worry about the groceries. We can make it off love alone."
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. I'm gonna have to find the little prize sound effect. Yes, it was Anthony Hamilton. Cool. He said that little part, you ain't gotta worry about no groceries. We can live off love alone, baby. I don't love nobody that much. We need to split a sandwich or something. I don't care. We ain't living off no love. We living off love alone. We ain't got no business being that cool.
We ain't gonna be in love long.
Nah, we ain't gonna be in love.
We ain't gonna be in
No,
love
ain't
long.
that much love. I'm so glad I didn't get the question now. That is so crazy because I was like, I wonder if you gonna remember that. All right, college majors. Do you remember what my college major was? Do I remember what your major in college was?
You was a dual. You was a biology and chemistry major.
That is
You
correct.
made
Yes, that is correct. I was. And your major, I need to keep it broad. I want to try to say a specific one. I know it was agriculture. I want to say it was like ag business or ag economics.
So I was the face of ag business, but I was an international ag econ major.
And there we go. Okay, well, I said ag economics. So
Yeah.
international ag econ. So okay, close enough.
I had no business in pre-professional either.
Oh
If we gonna keep talking about what I had no business in.
man, you know, back then people just be trying to get their numbers up. People should be trying to have their little sign-in sheet, their little rosters, and their participation. So it is what it is. So you ain't had no business pre-professional, you ain't had no business acquired east side. Okay, got it. All right.
Shout out to that boy Avery. That's the only reason I came.
This is the boy Avery.
Yeah.
Don't blame him for you being where you need to be. But okay, one last thing. Ooh, wait, I'll see if you're gonna get this. What is one lesson that mama or one moment that you had with Mama Hearn that you will never forget?
Oh man, we was in high school, and you was always late, bro. I came down that hallway and stepped in that bedroom, and that lady didn't have her wig on, and then flew out that room.
What she was doing? This the
She was
part.
praying.
She was Mama Hearn was praying, boy. Corey came down that hallway and stepped a big toe in my bedroom. Oh, all them prayers went up out the window. Mama ain't caring about that robe. She ain't caring
A
about
little
that
aggression
robe.
in that voice.
She ain't caring about them prayers. You finna, I never forget that. That boy, that head popped up. Boy, look, forget the fact that I'm still in bed. I ain't got up. I ain't got ready for school. Finna be late. The fact that you here to go, we supposed to go to the same place. And I ain't got to, forget that. Why is you in this bedroom? Why is you in here?
Was Alex in there or something? What? I don't know. I think it was just you. Alex was gone.
I think it was just me. Because you know, she had to catch the bus. I don't know, but I know Mama Hers ain't play that. When we see all this stuff, would your mama let your boyfriend stay over all that mess and me and my man be chilling in my room? Who?
Now my mom, on the other hand.
Oh yeah, you know, yeah. But no, they weren't gonna fly. They weren't gonna fly at the Hearns house. You had to stay your tail in that front room or outside.
Where's T.I.? My mama was never at home.
She was there. She was there a lot of times. Your mama just like at the door. Look, you know, you know what to do.
You remember what I gave you? Do you remember your 16th birthday?
Yeah. You mean like when we had that little birthday party at the house? My mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did I give you a beer?
You gave me a beer? Now, I don't remember that now because I don't even like beer.
Yeah, you didn't, but you tried it.
Well, see, now you just told on yourself because Mama Hearn gonna listen to this. And now she's gonna know you bought a beer in the house.
I was outside the house.
Well, you shouldn't have bought it over there and tried to entice, but you hear that, Mama? I ain't like it. And I'm guessing I took a sip and maybe didn't drink it. So I hope you proud. We're gonna wrap this thing on up before you get us in some more trouble, okay? Because Mama Hearn, she was not fooling with none of that mess. But no, I thank you. This was so fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to thank you for being my guest and allow me to give you your flowers while you're here. You've always been a good friend and a source of unwavering support and wisdom throughout my life. You're always quick to support me, and you have supported Degree Single from jump, from ideation to where we are now, even when you first got this call to be like my first single male voice of reason on this platform. So I appreciate you. I honor you for that. And before we jump off, is there anything that you want to let listeners know? Anything you have going on? Anything that we can support?
No, what's my question would be, what's next for Degree Single?
Baby, this is my interview. How you gonna ask me? I'm the interviewer. How you gonna interview me?
I think it's a good platform. I think it's great for our generation, millennials, and I'm happy for you. I'm happy for your passion behind it. And it's great content. It's something that I look forward to seeing when you put it out. And I hope you continue.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Since you are interviewing me, what is next? You know I have big visions for Degree Single without divulging too much to others. Because like I said, you already know, I have multimedia ambitions for Degree Single to take it to different mediums right now. Like I said, we're YouTube, merchandise, and writing. I do these videos because that's what people say resonates with them the most. They be like, we want to see you. And a lot of people read, but a lot of people don't. They just don't. They say so it's easier for us to engage if you can get in front of the camera, and we enjoy seeing that, your mannerisms, all that stuff together, or at least hear you. So this has been like the most prevalent thing by popular demand. But I enjoy words, I enjoy writing, that whole process. So that's a factor too. So I have places that I would like to go with that. And for sure, I've wanted to write a book for quite some time. Merchandise is booming and going. You supported my very first wave to see if that was something I could do, kind of get my feet wet in it. And so we're going to keep that going and keep building out the YouTube, of course. And I mean, if somebody called me up and want to put me on TV, I ain't gonna turn it down. Well, depending on what they want. But I have visions and plans for it. So again, thank you for supporting that and always being a part of it. And I know if I ever needed to give you a call along the way to support anything or bounce ideas off, I know you're there and available. So thank you for that question.
No problem. One more other question for the male listeners.
Oh, okay.
Are you dating?
Man, come on.
Seriously, is Degree Single? We just got to talk about it. Like, are you openly dating? Or are you looking to date? Or are you just still focusing on Christian right now?
I'm always focusing on Kristen. I'm focusing on Kristen as a married woman. Okay. I'm focusing on me with a husband. I am not dating anyone right now. I'm not dating nobody. I'm not going out like doing stuff. I'm not dating anyone. If I'm open to it, yes, of course, I'm open to it because I'm not closed off to the idea of marriage, and it takes dating to know if marriage is in the cards, if it's on the table. You won't know until you date enough to give it a try, or you date enough to completely rule it out. So I am open to dating. If some situations come across that I feel like it's worth my time, now you're gonna extend it because the word dating is different to me, because I'd rather hang out with somebody, spend a little time, but don't call it no date. But it's levels to it. But getting to the dating level, I'm open to getting to a dating level with someone.
But there's dating, and then there's dating exclusive. Like, dating could be you go out this date with one person, and it just wasn't it.
Not me. I do it a little bit. To me, it's like levels to that, because I feel like dating implies mutual romantic interest. Like, I want to know you like that. I don't know that. I feel like I need to hang out with you because I feel like,
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And I might be overthinking it. So it's like, I don't too often go with people. If you call it a date, I'm probably like, I'm not going to go at all. So if I call it, if you say it's a date and you can go and tell people like, we dating, this is the purpose, this is the intention, because I like her like that and she like me like this. So we trying to see if it can be more. I don't know if I even want that. I don't even know if I want to get to know you like that. So I'm going to hang out with you. And usually if they can't say, let's hang out. And I'm really particular about the terminology. So there are guys that I've hung out with and they was like, Oh, remember the time we went out on a what? On a hangout? Because I didn't date you. I
Yeah.
didn't date you at all. Mutual romantic interest. I might have hung out with you and realized there is no romantic interest at all here. I don't care to know you like that. So this is your opportunity to be my friend, or it's your opportunity to be nothing, or we can
So
keep
they got to
hanging
work
out.
they got to work their way from friend zone up.
Yeah, because and I feel like, and I know some people that's overly complicated. That's Kristen. That's why that ain't nothing I push. That's overly complicated. That's Kristen. Okay, so I don't push that on other people. I don't even tell people that's something they need to do. That's how I work. Because this is what I believe. Because people will take that dating word and just throw it. We dated and we dated. Some people when they say dating, it's like dating exclusively. Or some people dating, we dated. It just could be a lot. That word can be really loaded. So I like to take that word off the table entirely. If we dated, that's because I can admit that there I liked you like that, or at least I thought I did. And I wanted to see and I wanted to know like that, like romance, to go somewhere, to be my man, to possibly be married. That's what dating is. If I can't even see you potentially as that, I'm not going to use that word date because that's what date means to me. Date is a step in the direction of you being my romantic partner. Not no situationship. Situationships don't date.
Them friends.
Yeah, friends with benefits,
Yeah.
whatever understanding, that ain't dating. Y'all just eat before y'all go and work out, exercise in terms of your arrangement. That ain't dating to me. And you nobody in those circumstances would need to say they dated me because I'm saying that you did not. But it's like I liked you like that, or I was curious enough. I wanted to know about you in a romantic sense. That's dating. Cause then I feel obligated to put my good clothes on. Most times people see me out with mine, I'm gonna have a t-shirt on. I ain't lying to you. Almost always, most times I'm out, I got a t-shirt on.
You're a t-shirt girl.
I
T-shirt.
am. And if he say it's okay, but like when you dating, come back to social economic stuff. I guess depending on the type of place you are, you might want to dress the part. Back in the day, people used to look real nice for dates. You want to wash your car, you put on your nice clothes, nice hair, good, you pulling out the good dress, good shoes, good perfume, good makeup, suits, flowers. Nowadays, man, they just roll up to the drive-through window, sit outside, which whatever it takes for y'all. It's just I guess it's a t-shirt could suffice to you. I guess you can wear t-shirts to dates now, but like they real nice, fanciful dating as we used to know it. They used to make it like very apparent. Courting, code.
Code.
Now that was going on. That I don't see too much, and I think that's what I have in my mind, a very glamorized view. Maybe that's overly glamorized, but I am a t-shirt girl, and I do think if a man told me we was going to a place and it was okay to wear a t-shirt, I probably would. But you can read the room. I'm not going to the ballet with no t-shirt on.
Yeah.
Your man take me to the ballet, I'm not going with no t-shirt on. I've been to white linen restaurants where I knew I had to put my heels on in the car before we got out. So yeah. So to me, dating has levels to it, and ain't nobody at that level. I ain't even hanging out. I ain't even hanging out right now. So we're ways away from dating and certainly from a relationship. But I be saying I'm gonna fall in love in the fall. For fall, boy, when that wind get to coming and them breeze and them, it's just something about that to just stir up something in you.
With some good cologne.
Oh man, don't let the breeze catch you. It's just something about that. I don't know if it's like the fair that just make you feel like you need to be holding hands. I don't know. It's really something in the air in that season that just makes you want to just. It wear off around Thanksgiving though. It wear off around Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving is serious. Because you're sitting at the table, you stuck. So it's going to be like questions. You really got to give an account for what you're doing. Thanksgiving is serious business. If I'm taking you to Thanksgiving dinner, that matters because that means my mom, my dad, my important relatives, uncle's finna be looking at you talking about what's your intentions. You gotta have answers to questions.
They gonna be asking about you 5 years later.
Yeah, Yeah, and then they finna be looking at me as a woman. Well, what's your plans? Because you know they love the boy and they family to death, and they swear you can't do him he can't do no wrong, and so they grilling me as the woman. What's your intentions? Y'all gonna have kids? What y'all waiting? I'm like, this nigga ain't bye. Don't worry about it. You know, Thanksgiving is serious business. Then Christmas, oh my God. People with these pajamas and all this carrying on.
Oh, yeah.
Fall is light. Fall is fun. Fall is like the most enjoyable stage before stuff gets too heavy. Around Thanksgiving and Christmas, stuff getting heavy, especially if you got them exes that you still friends with. And they popping up, so they like be coming to your mama house for Thanksgiving. Or your mama fixing me a plate and telling you to bring it over there to my house.
She will. She good for that.
And your girlfriend looking at you talking about why she doing all that. Or my man over there, my mama have talking about why he still bringing, like, what y'all got going on? Why y'all still? I'm like, this is not unusual. This is not unusual at all.
Yeah.
So it's too much work, too much understanding. Gotta go into all this. I ain't doing it right now. I ain't not. You gave me a headache just talking about it, Lord.
Well, fellas, if you jumped in the inbox, don't say nothing about dating.
You better ask me to hang out. And you better not be a stranger, because I'm gonna say no. Because I don't know you now. I don't know you, don't know where with you. Man, we finna sign up off of here. Because you done took us on a whole different 10. You gonna sit up here and interview me on my show. But I don't mind. I always fair at Degree Single. So I answered you quick. Did I answer all your questions? You got any more questions?
Yeah, you did.
Cool. I appreciate you though. Let me say all the
appreciate you.
Hmm?
I appreciate you too. I appreciate you thinking of me.
Oh yeah, no problem. Always. Let me say the stuff I'm supposed to say. You made me lose my place. Right, people out here knowing I be reading. They probably thinking I be in the flow. Listen, man, she be getting it. All right. So I'm gonna wrap up by shouting out my team that made Degree Singles possible. So shout out to the good Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, me. And that's it. And shout out to Jervis McGee. Thank you to him as well, because he provides all my music for my episodes and everything. So check him out. Stream his music on all major platforms. And as far as Degree Single, like, follow, subscribe to us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and check out degreesingle.com for additional merchandise and content. I will look for you in the comment section.
I just want you right now. Nothing else matters right now. Can I get you by yourself somehow and show you how I really get down? I just wanna show you where I live, baby. We can